Welcome to our Riverside live demo. And this month, we have them monthly, but this month is extra exciting because we have a ton of new features to show you. We are also going to preview a few of them that are coming up, so it's good that you're joining to see what's coming next. And we're also going to back it up and just show you really end to end everything that you can do with your Riverside Studio to your editor and show you how you can just create your content, edit your content, record it all in one place. And even for some of the people that may be using Riverside already and have been using it for a while, there might be some features that you overlooked. So I'm excited to dive into it all with you. And speaking of that, I'm Kendall, the community manager at Riverside, and I am here with Steven, our resident video producer, podcaster, YouTuber, aficionado, jack of all trades. So we are really excited to show you everything that you can do with Riverside. And as we're going through, our live chat is open, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. As we begin, though, we want to get an idea of who's watching. So feel free to write in the chat. I see some people saying where they're based, which is amazing. That's people from all over. But let us know if you're new to Riverside, if you're just kind of checking us out for the first time, if you've been using Riverside and just want to know more about the capabilities. And yeah, and with that, I'll be monitoring the live chat, but Steven will take it away with the demo.
Sounds good. Well, good. Great to have you back, Kendall. First of all, back here in the
Thank
webinar.
you.
Yes,
I
wonderful.
was away on maternity leave, and so some of this will be some news to me. Well, not news, but I'm going to be seeing you demo it for the first time. So
Very
I'll be
good.
right there with you all for the excitement of it all.
Very good. Well, we're going to start from the top, and I've seen some people in the chat already talking about live streaming features, and so we have some exciting announcements about that we're going to go over very soon. So let's actually start on our Riverside dashboard. And so when you first log into Riverside, you'll have a studio, and there might be an example recording, but this is what you see when you first log in. And we have all of your content here organized in what we call projects. And projects can contain your Riverside recordings, uploaded media that you might upload that you recorded on your phone or elsewhere, and you can jump in to record into your studio using the record button here. And just to give you a quick overview, when you record with Riverside or you've created a new project, which you can do using this new button here, you go into a project and you'll have your recordings available to you, plus lots of cool features that we'll probably get into later, like magic clips and things like that. But every time you record with Riverside, you get high quality video and audio. And that's really the Riverside difference, is the video and audio recorded for you, any remote guests, are recorded on your devices, and then they're uploaded to your Riverside dashboard here. And so if you had a recording in Riverside and you clicked recording files, this is where you can download those up to 4K video quality files, uncompressed wave audio if you're doing that, and you get access to all of it. Separate tracks for both you, your remote guests, any screen shares and media board files, which we'll talk about. You can access them all here. So that's just where you find your recording files, the Riverside dashboard, and things like that. And when you're ready to jump in and actually record, you hit the big record button here at the top of your studio. And this is what we call the lobby, where you would choose your camera, microphone, and speaker. And this is also what your guests see when you send them that guest link, and I'll go over that in a minute too.
Before we go into the studio, actually,
Yeah,
if we can back it up for a second, I want to show. I was looking at the chat, so I might have missed this. Scheduling and
for
like even
sure.
before you go into the studio, all of the things that you can do as you're kind of planning it out. So planning and uploading. If we can go into that really quick.
Absolutely. So if I click the plan button here in the dashboard, I can schedule a future recording. So let's say we're doing, I don't know, a live webinar. We can choose the date, time zone, and then I can invite someone via email, and they're going to get an email from Riverside with a link to join you in the recording and actually some instructions on joining from Chrome, Edge web browsers, things like that. And depending on your plan, I'm not sure if this is business only, but we do
This is
have,
yeah for business.
for business platform users, we do have audience registration. So if you're doing something like a webinar and you want to capture this information like emails and even custom registration fields, which is coming very soon, you can actually do that here in the planning section. But once you create a recording session, you can add it to your Google Calendar with one click, which is super easy. then you'll see those future recordings right here when you go back to actually to your dashboard. And so when I go back to plan, I can also invite to record, and this is where you get that guest link. So if you're inviting a co-host, an interview guest, someone that's going to be recording with you, the guest link is what you want. You copy that, send it to them, and they can join you in the studio when you plan to record. You can also invite via email right here, typing in their address, clicking send invite, and they'll get that email from Riverside with all the info they need to join you. And we're going to talk about live streaming in a second. The audience link, which is actually what everyone watching right now to the live webinar, you used the Riverside audience link to join us live here in the studio. So when you send this out, this is how you can live stream on Riverside and doing a webinar or anything like that. That's the audience link right there. Anything else here we should go over? The upload?
I think we're good for right now
Okay,
on that. So let's move on to the studio.
very cool. So back to the recordings page, you get brought to the lobby. You choose your camera, you choose your microphone, which I have a lot of devices connected to my computer, so yours is not going to look this complicated, but you choose your mic, whether it's a USB mic or audio interface, and your speaker. You select whether or not you're using headphones. We recommend using headphones because then you don't have to enable echo cancellation, meaning your remote guest, when they're talking, if you have multiple people, if it comes out of your computer speakers, then it could be picked up by your mic and you get that noise bleed and stuff like that. So that's why we recommend using headphones, but you can choose whether or not you're using it right here, and then you click Join Studio. And that's actually what we have here. Once you click Join Studio, you arrive here, and this is the Riverside Studio where you record. Now, you're going to
Wow,
see...
you replaced me as a guest.
So I have a special guest here, which is my Mac Finder pillow. You're also going to see me a different angle. The audio might seem a little off because I'm screen sharing and using multiple cameras here. But if you always want to go back and watch the recording after the fact, you can. So this is the studio where everything happens. You can record, you can live stream, great for solo content or with remote guests, all of that. So just a high-level view, if you need to get back to that invite link, maybe you need to invite another remote guest. We have the invite button up here, and you can still copy and access those links even when you're here in the studio. That's there. You'll also see all the participants here in the right-hand side. That's under the People tab. And this is helpful because you'll see the volume coming up and down here, and you can also expand each person and see what camera, microphone, and speaker they're using. So if you have an interview guest, and maybe you know they have a USB mic, but they maybe accidentally chose their laptop mic, you can double check that here under the People tab. And then we also have the chat window, which is what you guys are using right now to chat with us. You can also chat with your in-studio guests privately if you'd like to do that. We have some options for branding your studio, which is really cool. Depending on your plan, there's two built-in themes, which is Riverside and Newsflash. Changes the colors of the names, the background, and if you're on our standard or pro plan and you upgrade to the Live Studio add-on, you get a bunch more colors and themes, even using a custom hex code for a brand color if you'd like to do that. I like the prismatic color, personally. We also have oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Kendall.
I also just want to quickly jump in for this part and say that Patrick had asked, and I'll show it on the stream, does the guest need to also have Riverside? And I just want to point out, because this is a great part about Riverside, is that your guest doesn't need to have Riverside downloaded or anything like that. The screen that you saw in the beginning that just you put in your name and whether or not using headphones, that's what they're going to see. So they just put in their name, whether or not they're using headphones, and they're in. No need to download anything.
That's right. Now, if they wanted to record on an iPhone, iPad, or Android device, someone can actually join from there too. They do need the Riverside app for that, but that's only on mobile devices. Desktop is, you can just use a browser. That's it.
All right. Yeah, keep going. I just wanted to jump in with that one.
For sure. So we have the brand tool here. We also have text overlays or lower thirds here in the studio. This is going to be really helpful for live streaming. And I saw that there were some people in the chat looking to see what live streaming features we have. And here, like Kendall just showed a comment on screen, I can show lower thirds while
Great comment.
Live streaming. Thank you. I can show that. And when people join using Riverside audience links, like you all are right now, you can actually attach URLs to those lower thirds, and they're clickable when people are watching on the Riverside platform, which is really cool. There's a media board where you can actually upload video and audio clips. And I like doing this for like countdown videos, which would be great if you're doing live events or webinars. And you can show this content live while you're recording, while you're broadcasting live. And you can talk about it, talk over it, or also hide you and your guests if you would like, which I'll go back just to show you that real quick. This is helpful for live streaming. Back on the People tab, I can choose to hide particular guests. And so now everyone's hidden. And let's say you're going to be doing a live event or webinar and you want just the countdown video to show, I can play that using the media board, hide all myself and the guests, and then once that hits 0 or I'm ready, I can show us again as participants, and we're back on. And I'll go back to the media board, turn off the video, and we're back with me and my guest. Now, really excited for this next feature because this is coming out, but live stream layouts. We've had lots of people asking, can we change the order, who appears, can we focus on the active speaker? And that's what the new layout tool here in the studio can do. So when I click layout, you have multiple options. You have the grid, which is the normal view, like what you're seeing me and Kendall and what I have here. You can focus on the active speaker, which is another view. And then whoever is speaking, that microphone, like when that audio goes live, Riverside will automatically switch between active speakers. And you can also do speaker split screen, where the active speaker will be large and everyone else will be small in picture. And what's really cool is you can switch between layouts using hotkeys on your keyboard or shortcuts. So on a Mac, it's actually Option and then 1, 2, 3. On Windows, it's the Alt button 1, 2, 3. So I can do that real quick, switch between grid, active speaker, picture in picture, and I'm just doing that with my keyboard. This is really going to make it more flexible for those who want to live stream with Riverside. You can also choose to fit the full 16:9 if you prefer to not crop the video frames, or you can fill it like here. And two other really cool features, then I'll open it up for any questions or comments, Kendall. Kind of when you roll your mouse over a video, two things you can now do is swap the order in which you see the participants and the guests. So you see these kind of small dots here at the top of the video. I can click and drag that left or right and reorder how we appear or who appears in what order. And I can switch that back and forth. If you have more than two, you can switch them all around. And if you want to pin a specific guest, maybe it's an interview guest, special speaker, and you just want them to be full screen while they're talking and it not switch at all automatically, I can click the pin icon right here and they will be pinned large the entire time. Then I can use the keyboard shortcuts again if I wanted to, or change the layouts, but pinning now is available. So really powerful features here, and that's all under the layouts tool here in the Riverside Studio. It's pretty cool.
And we are showing you now, this is a new feature that's being rolled out to everyone. So you're getting a sneak peek on this, which is really exciting to see, because actually this is the first time that I'm seeing it in action, Stephen. So it's really going to be so exciting for live streaming. So I'm excited to try this out myself.
Very cool. And speaking of live streaming, I should show you, if you want to connect multiple destinations, you can do that here in Riverside. We have our live streaming tools here up at the top. And when I click that, Riverside Audience Mode, you can live stream just with that, which is what we're doing for this webinar. Or actually like what we're doing, we're actually going to our YouTube channel as well. And so Stream to Social, I can add multiple destinations, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or any RTMP destination. That means if you want to do a scheduled YouTube live stream, or you want to send this to an Instagram live stream, you can actually do that with the RTMP settings. And you can add multiple destinations, and when you click Go Live, Riverside will send that everywhere at the same time. You'll be live stream all those places. And thanks to our Omni Chat feature, you can actually see all the comments from the chats across the platforms, YouTube comments, Twitch comments. You'll see it all in the Riverside chat window, and you can show them on screen like Kendall did earlier for lower thirds. And when you reply in the Riverside chat, your message will go to all those platforms simultaneously. So you can manage all your chat right here in the Riverside Studio and broadcast to all those destinations. And if you do upgrade to that Live Studio add-on, so if you're on Standard and Pro plan, you upgrade to Live Studio, you can stream it up to 1080p high definition and remove the Riverside watermark there. And that's our live streaming tools, which I've used personally. It's really great.
Yeah, we're using them right now.
Okay.
Actually, speaking of tools, Matchy had asked, what camera are you using? You both look super sharp and professional.
Well, Kendall, what are you using? I actually don't know.
I was actually going to say, I think, Stephen, you know, because
Oh, no. Oh,
we
is it the
consulted
Sony's?
you when,
Is it the Sony
yes,
ZV-E10?
I believe so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's yeah. Kendall's using the Sony ZV-E10. It's a great vlogging camera. We have videos on it on the Riverside YouTube channel if you want to learn more. I'm using the Sony A7 IV mirrorless camera. So, and lens has a lot to do with it too. You know, getting a nice lens where you can make the background blurred with a lower aperture number. That's kind of what we're both using. So,
And Lorena, you asked if we can come set up their studio. So,
be right there.
Stephen, if you do house calls,
Yeah.
Stacy had asked, does the quality go down if you're streaming to multiple locations?
No, Riverside is all handling that on the cloud side. So the only reason your live quality might drop when you're live streaming with Riverside is because Riverside is doing that local recording in addition to live streaming. And sometimes, whether depending on your computer hardware and video processing or bandwidth, the live call quality might drop a little bit because it's still uploading your local recording in the background. So what you can do is there is a setting in the Riverside Studio. Let's see if I can actually do this while I share a screen and show everybody this. When you go to your studio settings, which you can do here in the gear icon, I can go to all settings, and I believe it's under the recordings tab. It is, or is it under advanced? Let's see.
Yes, under advanced, right up at the top.
Up at the top.
Yeah,
There we,
there we go.
yes.
Hosts and producers can
Yes.
pause
Okay.
uploads. Yeah.
So under the advanced settings, live call quality, hosts and producers can pause uploads. If you toggle this on, that means once you start recording, and I'll tell you what, I'll do it live. Hopefully nothing breaks. I should have enough bandwidth for this. So I just started recording in my studio here. You'll see it's now recording at the bottom. I have a timer going. You see a recording up here, and you'll see a record next to each participant. We want to make sure you know you are recording right now. And if you find that the live call quality is dropping, if you toggle that on in settings, the pause upload, now I can go to the people tab, expand each person, and pause the uploads, which means Riverside is still recording locally, high quality video and audio. You're not losing any quality for your recordings later, but it's the live call quality is going to stay higher because there's not bandwidth being used for that upload. So pause the uploads, your live call quality will remain good. And then once you stop recording, Riverside's automatically going to trigger those files to be uploaded. Should just take a few more minutes, maybe than normal, if you do pause uploads. And you'll see there down here in the bottom left, you see the progress for both you and your remote guests. This is actually an iPad mini, and so it's taking a little longer because it's uploading over the Wi Fi. But there we go. And our uploads are now complete. So you're not sacrificing anything by pausing uploads. It just might take a few minutes to actually finish that upload process once you're done recording at the end. But that will help your live call quality.
Yeah, and that's been a hack that I've been using. And also just want to make a note that the reason why our both of our videos probably also look so great is because we're also using the Live Studio add-on. So you can use, if you're a live streamer and you want to get the Live Studio add-on, it means that you could live stream in 1080p. So that is also definitely helping the quality here. And I want to make sure that we get to everything. So I'm writing all of your questions down. But one thing that I just want to address is that we were asked how to just pull out the chat messages on screen like I had done before. So, for example, you'll see on the stream a nice reaction.
Wow.
Basically, what you do is you go over, because I can't, if I share my screen, I'm not sure if I can right now, but if you go onto the chat and you just scroll over anyone's chat, whether that's from YouTube right now or from our Riverside audience mode, you'll be able to press show on screen, and there's also a timer. So you can set it for 10 seconds. You can set it to go off the screen whenever you choose to. So really cool, exciting feature that I love to use during these live streams. We're going to get to more of questions, but again, want to make sure we get to everything, and there's so much to show you, especially with the editor. So let's go to the recordings page and then show some of the show notes, some of that, and from there we can hop right into the editor. But keep sending us your questions because I've got them all written down here.
For sure. And Zach, yes, I've landed on the Earthworks ethos. It's my favorite podcast, Mike. Okay. Also, just real quick, last thing, there's the question. That's our lower third. And real quick, but just before we leave the studio, you can share your screen like we have been down here. You can share a window, tab, or your full computer display. Great for doing tutorials. If you actually want to record screen recordings like you're doing tutorial videos just solo, Riverside is a great tool for that. You can also have a script and teleprompter right here in the studio. You can have this play, adjust the timing, and all of that just built in right here. So just wanted to show that real quick because it's pretty
Yes, and
cool.
it's great because it's right on the screen. So
That's right.
if you're using a like if you're using your webcam on your laptop, it looks like you're just looking right at your screen. So it's really great to not get
Sweet.
distracted.
That's it. All right, now I'm going to go over to my video podcast studio here. And so you see, these are all my video podcast episodes. And if I go to the last recording right here, so I record with a co-host, and we do multiple screen shares in the Riverside Studio because I like it to be a visual podcast because it's on video. So when I go to the recording files for one of our past episodes here, I have both my co-host video and audio track I can download separately, which I never do because I edit it in Riverside, and I have my own video and audio tracks. And then every time you share your screen or play a media board file, you actually get that as a separate recording every time. And Riverside recently moved to local screen recordings, which means they're even higher quality than before. Plus, you could download the full transcript down here at the bottom. And a really cool feature, there's a generate show notes button here on the recordings page. I have actually already done it for this episode, but you'll see we'll generate all of this in a few seconds. Every time you record with Riverside, I believe it has to be over 5 minutes you can generate AI show notes. But you get keywords, perfect for YouTube tags. You get a summary of the recording. You can massage that into a podcast episode description, YouTube video description. Plus, you have takeaways. There's little title ideas, sound bites. And one of my favorite features, you actually get automatic chapter timestamps. Riverside does this for you. This just generated it, looking at the topics you talk about, using the transcript to mark it in here. So you can use this in your YouTube description, and you also see these in the editor, which I'll go over now. And right here, back to the kind of dashboard of this main episode, if I want to just jump into the editor, I can click edit right here. There's also a full episode button, which I just wanted to show. Let me go back to one of my episodes where I haven't done it. I've done it a lot, apparently. Um, but right here, when you have a recording, not only can you generate magic clips, which creates vertical videos automatically, we'll talk about that in a little bit, generate full episode, Riverside will automatically remove filler words, put animated captions, and depending on your settings, remove silences. And we can basically edit your whole episode for you, which is pretty amazing. But let's go into the editor from scratch and see what it looks like to put together a full video podcast or other video content and see all the tools we have available. Anything before I jump into some of the AI producer tools?
Yeah, I wanna talk about magic clips if we
Okay,
can.
let's do it.
Yeah, because that's definitely a feature that a lot of people are loving. And yeah, keep your questions coming because I'm writing them all down.
Sweet. So Magic Clips, like I mentioned before, right here when you on your recording page, your dashboard, I can click Generate Clips, and we have these new Magic Clips controls, which is amazing. I can decide how long I want these clips to be. So 30 to 60 seconds is usually how long I like my Reels and TikToks to be. You can choose to focus on a speaker if you'd like. You can actually click their names. But what I love even more is this topics to highlight. So if I wanted to say, let's focus on ChatGPT, and it's actually going to generate clips based on this keyword. And then I can do this multiple times to generate clips about multiple topics in the show. Or you don't have to put anything there, and Riverside will just try and find the most engaging moments and create those. Now you'll see that's generating up here, but I've already generated a bunch of magic clips. You'll see all the magic clips up here. And I also have these exported clips, which were magic clips, and now I exported and shared on social media. And so you get, again, this was about an hour and a half recording. I got 8 magic clips here. I'm generating more right now. Magic clips is so powerful for helping you to promote your content. Look, they just popped up just that quick. I mean, that was less than 2 minutes. And I have what, 8 more clips here. I have these magic clips, and I can still generate more if I wanted to. Different topic, focus on a different speaker, different length, all of that. Super fun.
And one thing before we go also, Zane had asked, and you can scroll up on the page, can we upload videos we created previously into Riverside and get all of the show note features to work? So right up there, Stephen has on his screen that upload button. So yes, you can. And once you do that, you can create magic clips with them. You can get the show notes. You can get everything that you can use out of the editor, all from previous recordings, which I really love.
It's awesome. All right, let's jump into the editor and see what that looks like. We have some amazing tools here, some new features as well. So this is the editor. You have the full transcript here on the left, and editing in Riverside is super easy. It's text-based editing, or you have the timeline at the bottom. But if you want to edit something, you just select the text here on the left, click delete, and you've edited your video and audio. It is that simple. Just going through, selecting text, words, phrases, hitting delete, and you're editing your content. And because it's a full transcript, you can search. So if there's a moment that maybe you want to pull a clip from, or that there's something that you need to edit out, well, you can just search for something. Let's see, I think OpenAI was something we talked about. And now I can see all the instances where we said that word or that phrase in the recording. You can scroll through the transcript and see it. And you can also see them down here in the timeline with a timestamp and a little piece of context to let you know kind of what was the context it was spoken in. So just really cool, powerful transcript editing. But to get it all done even faster is we have a bunch of AI tools up here. We call it the AI producer. And when you go up here, this is the first thing I do when I jump into the editor. Set pace, first thing you can do is remove silences. But this is not just like the average remove silences tool. I can actually move this slider and choose how much silence I want to remove. Do I want to make this a super fast-paced edit, maybe for something like TikTok? Or is this going to be my full episode edit? So I want to be a little more conservative about the silences I'm removing. Well, I can move this around, and I'll see how many pauses it will remove, 48 pauses, and how much time will be cut, which is 1 minute and 14. And then when I apply the set pace feature, it will just remove all the silences from across the recording, and that's automatically done for me. Then I can go back in and apply smooth speech, which removes filler words, unwanted sounds, all in one click. That's simple. And one other tool that you might want to try, or two others, Magic Mute, which what that does is when someone's not talking, it will actually mute their track. This will be helpful if maybe you have a guest that has kind of a air conditioner in the background, or maybe they were tapping their desk whenever they weren't talking. Magic Mute will
Or like me if they're typing in the background.
Sorry, clickety-clack, clickety-clack.
Yeah.
Magic Mute will actually mute those other tracks while the main person is talking. Incredible feature. And also Magic Audio. If someone recorded with a built-in microphone, maybe they were on their mobile device, Magic Audio uses AI to enhance that audio. It removes background noise, echo, reverb, punches up their volume, and we've actually recently improved Magic Audio so it sounds even better. And you can apply that for everyone here in the AI Producer, or you can go up to the Tracks tool, which is going to make this a little bigger, and you can go into a specific participant and apply Magic Audio just for them. And you can also adjust volume per track manually if you prefer to do it manually. So I can adjust Jason's volume here, apply Magic Audio just to him, or go back out and do the same for me. Adjust my volume, apply Magic Audio just for me. And you can also reorder how the video appears, so who's on the left and who's on the right, by clicking and dragging those tracks up and down. And that's the AI Producer and the Tracks tool. You can also do the brand, which I actually have a custom image I use behind our video. This way it matches kind of our podcast look. But you also have a bunch of other images that's just built into the studio if you want to put an image in your background or choose a solid color. You can totally do that too. And you can also put spacing between the video or remove spacing around the corners or not. Any questions on any of that, Kendall? Should I keep going?
We've got a lot of questions coming in, but
Okay.
I want to keep on going because I want to show there's some questions that have answers as we keep going through. So
Okay, cool.
let's keep on keeping on in the editor.
Good.
And then we'll also get you how to very easily do all of this but for your social media clips. But
For
first,
sure.
I guess let's go to layout and because we stopped at brand, right?
Yep. So in the layout, here you can change, if you want picture-in-picture, full screen to focus on the active speaker. But what you should really try, and this is a newer feature, smart scenes. So I'm just going to click it and let it work through. And what this does is, if you've ever heard of Autopod for other software, or you just wanted something that just focus on the active speaker when they're talking, show me both people kind of in between, well, Smart Scenes does that automatically. And so it's processing the video right now. And what it does is it will go through and it's creating all these scenes down here. So it might take a second, but it's going to focus on the active speaker. They'll be large, full screen when they're talking. And then kind of in those in-between moments when the conversation is changing or both people are kind of talking, then it's automatically going to switch to both people on screen. So it goes back and forth from one person to two people, and it still focuses on things like screen shares, making those full screen, your media board files, and it basically creates dynamic visual edit with one click. You didn't have to do anything. And it's always going to focus on the active speaker or both people, depending on how you on who's speaking, using the audio. So that layout tool is super powerful. And one other layout tool is if you need to zoom and crop on someone's video. This was much requested.
Yes.
You can now.
Yeah, so let's say that somebody's sitting off center. That was a big requested feature. Somebody's sitting a little bit off center, or one person's much closer to the camera and the other person's a little bit farther away. So it looks a little strange on the video to have two people kind of different sizes. Yeah, Stephen, I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, and I actually just used this in the latest episode of my podcast because, as you can see, my co-host, he's a little farther down, he's a little farther away from the camera. So I can click the crop tool above his video. I can zoom in just like that, and then move him around right here in the frame, and boom. I've now used, and it's applying it to all the scenes. So I just had to make that change once, and now that's applied everywhere. Whenever the two of us are on screen together, that zoom and crop that I applied right here in this scene is across the entire clip, and super powerful. So glad it's here. There it is. Yeah. So
we have a lot of questions about music, so I'm excited about this next one.
Okay, very good. Well, we do have an entire music library built in to the Riverside editor. So when you click music here on the right-hand side, you can browse. These are royalty-free stock tracks you can use throughout your recording. You can browse by style, genre, or if you want, you can upload your own music file as well. And when you do that, we'll save it in the Riverside Studio. I actually have a few uploads that I'll show you in a second. But let's say I wanted to use one of the stock pieces of audio here. Let me go with Highway. I'm going to click the plus button, and it's going to put that audio clip. Oh, I think I put it at the end, actually. Let me go over here. So you can apply it using the music tool there, or you can click Add Music down here in the timeline, and then choose one of these pieces, and Riverside is going to overlay that or put it underneath your video. And here it is.
And that's new. Yeah. So this was a very requested feature as well.
Yes. So now I have intro music for my podcast. I can drag this around. I can change the in and out point, dragging it, change the length. And if I click the three dots right here on the music, I can change the volume. So you want to make sure the music is underneath any speaking. And I can adjust the fade in and fade out all the way up to 5 seconds, I believe, or all the way down to 1 second, or just no fade in or fade out. So now you can add, and you can do multiple clips if you want. So if you want to add another music clip over here, something different, maybe a different transition to a different segment, or maybe there's a sponsor read, I can have multiple pieces of music underneath the recording. That's simple. It's awesome. And if you upload your own piece of music, it'll be in the upload section. And so I'll go over to audio. I actually have a custom podcast intro I made for our show. It's about a minute long. And now I can click that, and there's our podcast intro music right here. Same tools where I can adjust the volume, the fade in and fade out. And now I have my intro music, outro, or music whenever you would like in your edits right here in Riverside. Really powerful.
I had a little bit of a snag with my Sony, so keep on going, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Okay, very good. Clearly, Kendall's using the Streamer X, which we have a video on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to. So also, in addition to the music, of course, you can add animated captions right here in the Riverside editor. That's our captions tool right here. And one of the cool things is you can actually save presets. So you get those captions designed just like you want with your font, your colors, how you have the active word highlighted. And then those presets will be saved here at the top. And when I click it, now we have animated captions across the entire clip. And let me make sure my computer's muted here, playing it, and there we go. Animated captions, the scenes are changing. I zoomed and cropped on my co-host, all of that done right here in Riverside. And another new feature, if you find that maybe you forgot something or you want to record a segment to insert, maybe it's like a sponsor read, you can actually we have the record button right here in the Riverside editor. So if you want to record something real quick and insert it, but you don't want to have to stop what you're doing here and leave, just click record. It'll open up the lobby, same studio experience, and then whatever you record will be inserted right here in your edit. And final two things here on the right, image overlays, really powerful. You can search for a word, and this is all stock-free, royalty-free image or stock royalty-free images. You can click on an image, and it will overlay it. I can click fill video, and it will automatically crop it and overlay it here. And I can change the length, zooming in on the timeline, changing the in and out points. Boom. Image overlays, and you can also upload your own images if you would like, and they will stay in the upload section, including like full slides if you'd like. If you have kind of like Keynote or PowerPoint slides, you can do that. And finally, also text overlays are here on the right-hand side. Great for names, URLs to a website, or just anything you want to emphasize. You can do the text overlays as well, add as many as you would like, change the font, style, color, and that, along with image overlays, all possible here in the editor. That's all the tools there on the right-hand side, and that's still not even scratching the surface of all you can do, which things like I can quickly change the format of this video. If I wanted to make this into a short or a reel, one click. I can use the tool here at the top middle, do the widescreen, square, or vertical right there, and it'll reformat in a second. I'm giving it a lot because I'm doing overlays, I'm doing music, I'm doing everything. And
Yeah, it's a good run through. Sorry, now you see me at a different angle because now I'm using my my laptop camera, but at least I'm back.
you are back. And we also, I just saw this actually announced on social media, is the individual track editing. So I feel like we should talk
Yes,
about
so
it.
this is a big one that I really want to get into, especially when you're in the timeline. And Stephen had been running through the all of kind of the AI tools and things, but when you're in the timeline, a cool thing that you can do is really make these granular edits. So I want to go into individual tracks. I want to show how to create a scene or a chapter. And yeah, because we do that all for you. But what we hear from creators is also they want to be able to have control over all of that as well. And what I think is great about these AI features is that we give them that.
Let's do it. So I'm actually going to go to a point in the recording where we kind of had maybe some crosstalk or we were kind of going back and forth. So I used this tool right here next to kind of the zoom in and out buttons, and that can expand and you'll see individual tracks for everyone that was in the recording, you and your remote guests. And you'll see this is just my wave form, my waveforms for the audio. And if I wanted to, I can actually just select a portion, hit delete on my keyboard, and it's going to delete that just from my track. So this is a great way if you want to kind of eliminate some crosstalk or maybe someone cleared their throat or coughed or whatever. Well, you can just cut it right here. If you didn't do the magic mute feature, which a lot of times it takes care of it, but now you can delete those sections or just get really in there and actually adjust the in and out point of sections that are already cut. Or if you just want, you could further do that. Great way to have those granular controls over each track right here. Now, Kendall mentioned adding scenes, adding chapters. As you can see, there's a lot of chapters already generated by Riverside. These were just here as soon as I entered the editor, and I can move them around just by clicking and dragging on that little line, or I can also do that in the transcript. So here's the chapter marker. You see it kind of as a heading here on the left. I can just click and drag this up and down if I just need to reposition it a little bit in either direction. But if I want to create a new chapter, I can do that too, or a new scene. Those are two different things. I can add a new chapter by clicking this icon here, and then whatever the topic is, maybe it's, Riverside is the best. That sounds pretty good. And so now I have a new chapter, and I can copy all these chapter markers with timestamps by clicking the three dots and copy chapters list and use that in my YouTube video description so I get my chapters there. And if you did the Smart Scenes feature, or maybe you didn't, and you want to actually change scenes, who's being focused on when, you can add scenes manually. And scenes are what we call Is it two people on screen? Is it one? Is it picture in picture? Things like that. So let's say we go down here to the timeline and we kind of see in between multiple scenes down here, and we can add a new one if we want using this tool right here. I can add a scene, and once you add the scene, then you can decide who is being shown, what's in the background, is it picture in picture, things like that. And I'm really pushing it to the limit. And so I'm going to let me refresh and we can show that again. But any questions we want to do while I'm doing that?
We can run through a few of the questions that we have now. First of all, we have so much information that we're throwing out right now. So a lot of people are asking, is this recorded? And yes, this will be recorded and sent to your emails if you've registered to this webinar through Riverside. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can find this on our YouTube channel under live after I finish wrapping up. So let's go through a few of them. We have a few questions. Is the music library copyright free? And yes, the music library is royalty free. You can use any of them, and rest assured that they're all right to use on your podcast or video or whatever you're creating.
Now, one word on that, I will say, if you download like an MP3 of, I don't know, a Taylor Swift song, and you upload it to the Riverside Studio and use it, that is still copyrighted. And if you try to publish that video on YouTube, you will get a copyright strike. So everything we have in the Riverside Studio is royalty free. Use it as however you'd like. If you upload your own music, just be, keep an eye on that. Make sure you're using the right stuff.
Rob had asked, and I was checking the chat, so I'm not sure if we covered this, but that how do you put text on a screen?
Yeah.
Text overlays.
Yeah, we can do text overlays for sure. Let me share my screen one more time. And that is also on the right-hand side. I might have to close some browser windows here. Let me see.
In the meantime, I could answer, somebody had asked, will there be ways to edit directly in the Riverside Mac OS app? And I will say that keep your eye out because a lot of exciting things are coming soon for the mobile app. As far as the Mac app, I will also keep an eye out for that one. But if you want to edit on mobile, we have a lot of really exciting things coming up there.
I would also say, and
yeah.
people are asking, do we have more tutorials and things like that? If you go to our YouTube channel, we have lots of walkthroughs. I cover all the features in detail. And we just published an 8-minute, there's a link right there in the lower third.
There's a link right there.
And I also did an 8-minute walkthrough of the platform. And I can't go through all the features in 8 minutes, but if you want to kind of have an 8-minute overview to get you started, getting recording, getting the high-level editing features, that walkthrough was just published like yesterday. And yes, there are more features coming up, and we covered on the channel. But you can watch that walkthrough I just posted, and that'll help a lot.
And while we're talking about that, I also just want to show one of my favorite new videos of yours, multicam editing on Riverside. So now that we have these new layouts, now that we have individual tracks and you can go into those, you can also do multicam editing, which is really just a lifesaver for when you're editing from multiple camera angles, be able to cut those jump cuts and stuff like that. So highly recommend looking at that. Abdella had asked, can we schedule webinar recordings to be played at a certain hour without being active? Stephen, you want to take that one?
We don't have that ability just yet. I know what you're talking about. And for that, I would suggest, record and produce your webinar in Riverside and then maybe do a scheduled premiere on YouTube where you can kind of have the video. You can either just schedule it and publish it, or YouTube also has their premiere feature, which basically treats it like a live event. But because like if someone joins 5 minutes in and you had a 30-minute video, it'll jump them to that point to kind of keep everyone watching in sync. So I would maybe try that YouTube premiere feature. Also, our YouTube channel is Riverside FM. So you can go to youtube.com/Riverside FM and you'll see it there. And real quick, for the text overlay question, here in the Riverside editor, if you scroll this right-hand column, we have so many features. You have to scroll for some now on the right-hand side. That you can see the text overlay tool is down there, and then you can add something. These are just kind of stock words, but you can always put whatever text you want, just typing in there, change the style.
Just any old thing.
Whatever you want. Change the color, and you can do all of that right here in the editor.
And that actually covers another question that we had of how to add people's names in the editor once you're done recording. So that is how you would do that. Did we cover captions?
We did captions and
Okay.
the multiple styles. And well, I'll say this because we were going to talk about magic clips maybe one more time. That if you wanted to, let's say I'm going to add captions using our tool here on the right. I'm going to choose one of the styles here. Let's go with this style. But maybe I want to change the font. And so I'll choose a different font and I'm going to change the size. I'll go, you can actually just type in a size, which is cool. I'm going to go with 90. I'm going to go with one line. I just want one line to show at a time. And I'm going to use the boxed text to highlight the active word. So there we go. We just quickly adjusted our caption style. Now what I can do is I can click the three dots here where the animated captions are, and I can save this to my presets. And so now I have the style just how I like. And whenever I want to access that preset, I go to the captions window here on the right, and that preset is right here. It's going to be saved right at the top. And what's even more powerful is once you have a preset saved, I can click the three dots on that, and then you can use for magic clips, which means any future magic clips you generate in this studio will use this style of captions, and just saves you a ton of time when you're generating those magic clips in the future. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, and also people are asking because there are so many features that we're running through. We showed you our YouTube channel, but I also just want to highlight, and I'll put it on screen for those watching live, our Riverside Help Center. Almost all of our articles also come with video tutorials. So it really, if you want to like granularly go into every one of these, it's also super searchable. So if you say like put a name on screen, you'll find text overlays and it'll show you how to do all of that. So our Riverside Help Center is really thorough and I would definitely check that out as well.
If
Um,
I could, I know a
oh,
lot of people are asking about pricing, and so I thought just real quick to kind of show you can try Riverside, including recording and editing, for free. And so this is our pricing page. But when you just sign up for free, you pay nothing. You can record, you can edit, and we say try 2 hours of multi-track recordings. And what that means is the first 2 hours of your free account, well, you can actually download the individual video and audio files for you and your guests. But even after those 2 hours, you can keep recording and keep editing that content. You just can't download the individual files later. And so if you're great just recording and using our editor, you can do that in the free plan, and you get magic clips on that free plan as well. And then you'll kind of see the differences in the standard and pro. Things like 4K quality starts at the standard and no watermark. And when you go all the way up to pro is when you get some of the AI features like magic audio, where you can get the full generated show notes and transcriptions downloaded, that teleprompter feature, and all of that. So just wanted to
and
mention
I'll also point out that these prices also include the live studio. So if you uncheck those,
that. Oh yeah,
it
yeah,
adds
yeah.
an extra 15. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh,
I was
that's
wondering.
different.
I didn't think it
Yeah, I
was.
was like, that's different. No,
Yeah.
it's because it's checking the live studio add-on. So that adds an extra
Right.
$15. So if you don't add that live studio add-on, then that takes that off of there. So if you want to be
29
able
and
to,
yeah, 35.
if you, yes, exactly. If you want to be able to stream in 1080p and be able to use those features like hide and show, that is with our live studio add-on. And yeah, so
I was trying to unclick it. I can't unclick it, but I said the wrong price. 34 minus 15 is
who wants
19.
to do the math for us in the chat?
19 and 29. Those are the monthly prices for standard and pro without the live studio add-on. So anyway,
Exactly.
trying to be precise.
I was just like, yeah, yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna run through more questions. One of them was Keith asked, once you remove a silence, is it permanent? That's one of the things that, again, love about Riverside's AI tools is that you can still customize different things within it. So if you remove all silences and there's a silence that you want to bring back, you can do that in the transcript. You can also do that in the timeline. And another question that we get a lot about when I'm talking about the transcript is we have those chapter time codes, but I want Stephen, a little unsung hero at the top, is those three dots. So I want to show those the three dot at the end of editing and everything. Of course, your chapter time codes are going to change. Your transcript's going to change. Your subtitles. You can download those edited transcripts, edited subtitles, copy the new chapters list all from there. And we also have a new feature called comments. So you're able to add a comment. So let's say that you want to say, create a clip out of this. Like, let's take this and make a clip. You can create those comments and it puts this little marker in the timeline for you so that the timeline and the transcript so that you can go through and look at all of those comments. There are so many features that like we're covering a ton and I still don't even feel like we're scratching the surface.
And I do want to show. So I just ran the set pace feature to remove silences. And to the question, can I bring them back? Here in the timeline, I can just click and drag, and now you see it'll bring back whether it was a filler word or if I want to bring back the silence. But we also represent silences and filler words in the transcript here. Little dots are silences, little squiggly lines are filler words and unwanted sounds. If you really wanted to, I can actually just select them here in the timeline and I can restore them if I really wanted to. So you can still bring them back. You can do it here in the timeline or via the transcript.
Exactly. So we were asked, can we speed up the recording and have it 1.5 times?
Not right now. I know a lot of people are asking, especially when the editing, they want to be able to preview it at 1.5 or 2x. So we know it's being asked for. So we're sharing that with the team.
Exactly. And yeah, we're definitely it's definitely on our radar. Um, Another question that we had, I'm looking through, I'm trying to make sure that is there a way to generate magic clips from the exported, post-edited content?
There's not magic clips from the edited content. You can generate show notes based on an edit, which will include timestamps. And so if you go to one of your exported files, like I'll go down to the full episode. So right here at the bottom, I have like, here's our full episode, here's our bonus episode. I can click into that. And from here, I can actually generate show notes based on this edit. So maybe you recorded like 2 or 3 episodes in one long recording session, and now you've edited them into individual shows. Well, then you can go back into this page and generate the show notes per edit. But you can't generate magic clips per edit. That might be a reason why you want to use either type in a keyword when you're generating those magic clips or choose a person to focus on the when you do the magic clips, generate clips here. So you can maybe type something if you want. And again, you can do this multiple times now to get multiple clips.
And we were actually just asked, and this is an exciting one. Do you have a studio setup training course, Stephen?
We have so many videos on that, and I'm actually going to share one video in particular because it was recent. As soon as I find my Riverside window, I will share this. So I just did a video on my personal setup here, and it really is about making the most of small spaces because this room I'm in right now is pretty small. It's like 8 by 9. It's a pretty small room. And so you can go through and I kind of do a behind the scenes of my studio. And just to give you a preview, I have a video coming out very soon. I just recorded it yesterday that will, I talk about using your bedroom as a YouTube studio and actually go over to my bedroom, bring my phone, a light, and using the Riverside app and show you how to create a YouTube studio, do high quality video and audio from your bedroom if you don't have any other space. So that video is coming soon on the channel. Great reason to subscribe over on YouTube.
And I also, Amir had asked about an information sheet on like a fact sheet that we can send guests for their setup. And that's a question that we get from a lot of people because if you're going to be investing in creating this high quality professional setup, you want your guests to have something similar, if not something similar, just to also look good. So we actually have a ton of guides. I'm very excited about this on our Riverside Community Hub. So let me just show that link on screen. It's riverside.fm/community. And they're sent in by creators in our community. And we created a guide for guests from Riverside, but we also have guides that other creators have sent us that they send to their guests. So you can see what other creators are doing. We also have things in there, and let me just show that again while I'm talking about it. We also have things in there like a template for booking guests. We have tips for getting the best sound quality, the most high quality audio. So check that out because there are a lot of really great guides in there. So yeah, definitely recommend doing that.
So Tamara was asking, can we add GIFs to videos? Not just yet. Stay tuned.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot more coming where
Yeah,
this all comes
I feel like
from.
we should do a lightning round or something because I saw where are your headphones? Someone was asking what are your headphones brand?
Mine?
Yeah, yours. Someone wanted to know
Oh,
yours.
I am Logi something.
Oh,
I'll
there
get
you
back
go.
to you on that one.
All right. And someone asked about mine. I'm using fancy headphones. You don't need these to record the Riverside. Mine are these Bayer Dynamic. They're like the Xenos or whatever. But if you want to get like discrete headphones, inexpensive headphones work great. You could buy a $20 pair of wired headphones, and I always suggest wired because you don't have to worry about battery life, latency. Then you can monitor your own voice. So just get like a $20 pair on Amazon. Or if you want to get a little bit upgraded, I would look at the Shure Shure in-ear headphones. They usually call them in-ear monitors and stuff, but you can get one for about $100, $200, just depending on your budget. And those would be great, low-profile in-ear headphones that are high quality, and yeah, would recommend something like that.
We also have a question. So I'll share that on screen. Can we use one Riverside account to edit and publish to multiple different YouTube channels?
You can you when you connect a YouTube channel to your Riverside Studio, it has to use the login if you're just going to connect it directly, and so that you can only do with one channel. But then the RTMP destination, you can add multiple RTMP destinations. And so if you want to stream to multiple YouTube channels, just go into the YouTube Studio for your channel, go to the Live tab, and you can find the RTMP, the live stream key, and the live stream. I forget what the other one's called, but you can use that to
URL.
URL. Thank you, live stream URL, and you could set up multiple RTMP destinations in Riverside and then broadcast to all those YouTube channels simultaneously. So that's how you would do that.
And we had another question that I am now losing track
Someone
of.
asked about a Blue Yeti. Listen, don't get me started, but don't get it. Listen, if you're looking to get a microphone, hold on, let me pull one out of my drawer of tricks. The best intermediate USB microphones, the Shure MV7 Plus. Get it with a Riverside windscreen, you'll sound even better. But if you're looking for a great starter microphone, you're just starting out, here's what you do. You get this one. This is the ATR 2100X. I talk about this microphone all the time. It's $50, $50 on Amazon. It's USB and XLR, so you can connect it directly to your computer, your iPhone if you have an iPhone 15 or newer, your iPad with USB-C, and it has an XLR connection if you ever want to use it with an audio interface in the future. $50. This microphone sounds great for that price. This is the one you want to get if you're just starting out. Don't get the other one.
And I remember the question from Stacy was, would Riverside be good for individual coaching sessions and giving the client the recording automatically? So I just want to highlight this because we talk about Riverside with podcasting, with YouTube, with recording video content for YouTube and social. But there are a ton of different ways that you can use this platform. And one of them that I hear from a lot of people are these individual coaching sessions. So even like, for example, I use this, I mean, I obviously work at Riverside, but I will record some of the meetings. And then at the end, if somebody missed it, I send the show notes or being able to take the transcript. People I know will record videos at work and then create these social clips of their meetings and be able to kind of use them for like repurpose them for social media for their own companies. So there are a ton of different ways that you can use this platform and try to test out some new ways that you can use them. So Stacy, the answer to that one is absolutely yes. And with that, we are headed to the top of the hour. So that is it from our demo, which is crazy because I also feel like we only scratched the surface. So I'm going to put on again Riverside on YouTube on the screen for people that are tuning in live. There are a ton of videos there that either explain features or give you new ideas for different ways that you can use different features within the Riverside. I also want to say that for anyone who had signed up in advance for this webinar, you can always email me back, kendall@riverside.fm. Let me know how you found this demo today, if it was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions. And I really can't wait to see what you all create. So good luck and thank you for tuning in.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.